Hi everybody, happy Tuesday. Yeah, the title in my for the title is correct. I'm just sad about the state of Y&R, really, because and what's funny is ironic, not funny. What's ironic is I was just talking to my dad like last week about how Y&R is not really keeping my attention, whereas bold is. And I've noticed some patterns about lazy writing and stuff because they say the same thing over and over again. And I understand to a point that they have to go over it in case somebody hasn't been watching. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is they're falling into the same traps of, okay, this worked 20 years ago. Let's do this again. Let's do that again. Okay, like Victor always wins. That's kind of a constant, and you know it's going to be present. But to see what they do to achieve that is sad. Okay? And Billy is always like the mess up. They're going with that trope again. Which, okay, you could say that he brought this on himself because Sally told him, it's not that I don't want you to be ambitious. It's that I don't want you to become greedy. There becomes a point when you become blinded and you can't see what's going on and you just keep going for it and you neglect everything in your way. People, situations, family members, family members, whatever it is. He just like, he puts on the blinders and goes and does whatever. It doesn't think about the cost, doesn't think about what he's going to lose, anything like that until after the thing. And then after, that's too late. And it's just sad because, like, today, okay, um, they always do, okay, this is what they always do with Billy. I'm going to just use Billy for an example. Okay, so Billy is the youngest boy in the family because Tracy is the youngest, but it's a little different for girls, females, because we don't have the like, for the most part, okay, I'm going to speak for myself here because I'm the youngest in my family too, okay? You do have a want to be as good as everybody else, but this need to prove yourself isn't so overwhelming and so ever present for females. Whereas males, I guess it is. Because I would guess, now I know I'm a woman, so I'm just speculation here. But I'm guessing that when you're a female, or when you're a male, um, you have this thing to separate yourself from your father and make your own mark. And you don't want to be seen as you did this because you're related to him. You want to stand on your own 2 feet and prove yourself as a man in the world or whatever that is. Okay. So yeah. Okay, you could say that. And then Billy's mother is Jill. And the only reason I bring this up is because in past episodes, for like the last month or a couple weeks, remember Jill has been sick, right? Okay, so then they brought on, or they had him have a conversation with her, and she basically apologized for, I'm sorry, I knew I wasn't the best mother I could have been. All these women who had the forefront of the kids, that was never me. It was never going to be me, but I feel bad because I know I wasn't the best mother to you I could have been. Okay? So you basically have two things at war at the same time. And then also a dash of proving yourself that you're not a screw up to your brother, Jack. Because once John Abbott died, Jack took over as patriarch of kind of the family. You know what I mean? So then, whatever Billy wanted to prove to John, he now was trying to prove to Jack. And that made them at odds on top of whatever their other stuff was from years ago. Okay. Um, okay. So Billy lost Sally not because of one thing he did. It was like it's like they say that when you break up with somebody, most of the time, unless there's one event that happens and it just happens, right? And you break up. Most of the time, it's a mountain of things that went wrong for a long period of time, and one or both of you finally decides you can't take it anymore, you can't work out your problems, whatever the verbiage you use is. Okay? So that's what happened with Billy and Sally. Because Sally always wanted to hold him up and be enough for him. And he was always enough for her. But she never felt like she was enough for him. And she always wanted to feel that way, but she never really did. I don't think. Because, I mean, I could see in the body language where she was always second guessing herself in her head, even if she didn't verbalize it. And it all came out today. And what happened is they chose Valentine's Day to hash out everything. And Billy wanted her to be a certain way and just kind of forgive him for everything and not even think about it for that day or night or whatever. And she's like, no, I don't want to keep doing this and sweeping it under the rug and then not talking about it for a day or whatever. And then you wake up in the morning and you're in the same spot you were in before. So I totally get where she was coming from, but that spells breakup. And the sad part is, I was saying this for months. Did I know it was actually going to happen on the Valentine's Day episode? No. But when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's breakup. So, in essence, again, Billy has lost everything because he's going to lose the companies. He already lost Sally. He lost people's respect for him. And he lost whatever he had against people or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, whatever clout he had built up, he lost because he screwed over so many people that they're like, I mean, okay, you know what's bad when Nick, who is played by Joshua Morrow, is hopping around on one foot and saying, I'm going to defend my family and all the niceties and whatever went out the window when you went against my family. Okay? You know you're in some trouble when that happens. So, yeah, I could see this coming a long ways off. And the thing is, I could see it coming and I've discussed every part of it. But I don't like seeing it as a viewer because I've seen it a million times before. Billy gets up, like builds himself up, and then crashes back down, and builds himself up and crashes. I'm tired of seeing it. Just do something else. And what is Sally supposed to do? Sally's supposed to be okay with the way that Billy treats her and the fact that he doesn't listen to her at all and that he takes it as a uh, uh, condemnation or whatever of his character if he doesn't do what she wants him to do. It's not that. She's trying to be your sounding board. She's trying to be the voice of reason in chaos. Okay? But you don't see it that way. That's your problem, not hers. Anyway, So yeah, I don't know what Y&R can do anymore. I really don't. So I'm at a loss. All right, bye everybody.